Hold up.
Let me tell you something, that recovery on GameStop was absolutely insane. I remember many people feeling defeated after GameStop got sunk down to $37 midday, but what happened next left everyone with their jaws on the floor. The GOAT stock, GameStop, exploded past $58 in an act of total defiance to all the stock price manipulators out there. It was a sight to behold, to see this stock once again escape the jaws of the nefarious predators that seek to destroy its value. Fellas, this might be one of the most important videos I make through this entire squeeze. I know it's a long video, but please, you must watch the entire thing completely, not skipping any part, for me to explain what's going to happen next. This is not me making up any BS, you guys know how serious I am about DD. You need to watching this video in its entirety because I will break down exactly what happened today and why GameStop is set up for such a massive success that it makes today's pre-market look like child's play. We are going to touch up on some pretty serious topics regarding GameStop and the real battle that is about to ensue. Believe it or not, running past $11 to $80 in the pre-market was easy. Guys, we didn't really do anything in the meanwhile. That was all the result of some overpaid hedge funds risk management team screwing up big time and allowing GameStop's price to escape the parameters by which they dictate it must move. However, the real battle for GameStop has officially begun today, and we are fighting for much more than just the price action. We are fighting for the very soul of the free markets and a debt that is owed to us and is long overdue. I will explain to you guys in precise detail what I mean by that and what it entails for GameStop and the entire investing community going forward, but before I do that, I desperately need you help. Fellas, GameStop still got slapped down and the corporate media is already shilling out a lot of articles calling it over. Even big trading and investing YouTubers are calling GameStop a play that is done and dumped. I disagree, and in order to get the message out, please like this video. As I have been saying, the only way we keep GameStop relevant, the only way we inform people is by keeping GME content trending, so please drop a like on the video and comment down below something, anything. It can be anything you want, with the hashtag GME or AMC. Help me keep GameStop viral as long as we possibly can, because it all matters in the end, as I will soon explain. Also, this is optional, but it's for your own benefit. There will be an invite link to my Discord in the video description and in the pinned comment below. Come join our server, we have the best meme stock community for GameStop and AMC. We talk about MOASS, about overall investing opportunities, day trading and educational material, which has been made available to you for free. Stop putting it off, just hit the link and join the best community in the entire internet. Alright, with that said, let's get started. The battle starts today. The run-up, as amazing and cathartic as it was, is not over, but the easy part is done. When you compare the charts that we had back in 2021, there are a lot of similarities in the price action, and I believe that we are likely to trade in very similar fashions. I have been watching very closely how hedge funds and banks and other entities manipulate the price action, whether it's via halting the stock at every point as it attempts to move up, or whether it's via creating fake market orders without intent of getting filled, and many techniques. It is clear to me, however, that things will be very different this time. I still do believe that GameStop will go down over the long run, for something is very clear to me at the moment. This is not MOASS, do not let anyone else convince you of that. Once MOASS begins, you will not be questioning whether we are experiencing it, for the price action will be moving in such large amounts that it will be undeniable. However, just because this isn't MOASS, it does not mean that the squeeze we are experiencing is not favorable to our cause and prospects. While the main benefit of it is bringing fresh investors and day traders into the stock, another vital takeaway is that it allows us to directly compare and contract how we are trading now versus how we did back in 2021 when we were all new to this. GameStop's float is bought out many times over, that to me is clear as day, but also, a significant portion of it is locked away with shares being directly registered in computer share. This changes the field quite significantly, because it means that virtue of mathematics alone, less availability of a product with high demand equals more volatility, more demand and a higher likelihood that shorts get forced into covering at higher prices in larger amounts. These runs will be instrumental for us that study and obsessed over GameStop in analyzing how it turns out. For example, we already know something that is vital. Back in 2020, GameStop actually began accumulating strong bullish direction towards the beginning of July. The price went from $1.30 to around $2.70 by December of 2020. Then, it took GameStop a whole 3 to 4 weeks to rally up to $120 at its highest point. As you can see, the whole process took a very long time. After all, it was in its infancy. This is something that has never happened before. However, what is of most interest is that this time around, we managed to rally back up from $11 to $80 in a matter of 2 weeks from May 2nd to May 14th, which is today as of me making this video and releasing it. Why is this important? Once again, it speaks to the overall increase in volatility that is embedded in GameStop because of the diminished amount of available shares out there. GameStop ran harder in a significantly less amount of time solely because of the lack of available shares, aka supply, which drove demand higher. That's what makes what is happening so interesting. It's giving us a lot of clues at how fast, at the rate of change, by which GameStop can move in a small amount of time. Now pay attention to this, because this is key in understanding why GameStop and AMC were halted 34 times today in total. Every time they halt the stock, think of it as being suspended for 5 minutes each time. This allows money funds, essentially market makers, hedge funds, banks and God knows how many involved financial firms, to sell short the stock without there being any buying pressure. Retail, which is by far the biggest holder of GameStop and by far the largest force interested in the stock, cannot buy the stock once it's halted, which allows the nefarious forces that be to be able to sell the stock in the OTC markets with no need to be transparent at all. This is why we saw GameStop fail to rise. When the stock was moving up, the stock would get halted and shorts shorted heavy, probably printed more shares as well. Then it would begin trading again and 20 seconds later and it would get halted again, and shorts would do the same thing. To the newer guys watching this channel, remember a key vital piece in the puzzle. The shorting institutions have no way out. They are cooked and done. Retail owns the float and a small segment in it is locking away shares over and over and over with no end in sight. There is no realistic or pragmatic way by which they can close that position before GameStop hypothetically going bankrupt, which is not even possible at the moment either. As an investor, as annoying as this can be, remember something. They are the ones with the burden on their shoulders, not you. You simply hold that stock, post some silly memes and laugh at it all, because these clowns, both in Wall Street and sadly the large levels of corruption saturating the SEC all the way through Washington D.C. have been cheating, and the most ironic thing is that they are still somehow losing. Imagine cheating by printing so many naked shares you can't stop and you have to perpetually cheat with no end in sight because retail holders caught up to your game and just continue to buy. If you aren't sure of this, remember that Superstonk alone, which is the biggest Reddit GameStop community, is officially documented as owning more than 25% of GameStop shares. And the last time we got real updated numbers was many months ago. That number is probably close to being over 50% than 25%, but still. Now add to that all the investors that don't participate in that community or register shares, such as myself. When you add it all up, it's sensible to assume that we own many times this float as of this moment, which brings us to our next point, and this is where we are going to go into a more complex topic, so please do put on your big brain helmet and try to keep up. Now that we know the basics, let's talk about price action because I know that at the very core of it, many of you care a lot about where we are closing and where we are heading. I know a lot of people lost a lot of hope in that firing spirit within you when you saw GameStop, and AMC as well, getting gang-banged by shorters. If any of you traded options, you must have caught something peculiar with the options chain. Brokers, by law, are obligated to buy shares at any market price to deliver on exercised options. If all the available GameStop call ops are in the money, what do you think if everyone decides to individually exercise them? Let me repeat that again. Every contract allows you the ability to exercise shares of GameStop at the specified strike price within the time frame until the expiration date of the contract. When people that write those option contracts, ideally speaking, get told that they now need to cover and buy those shares up because everyone that bought contracts wants to now own the stock, what do you think will happen to the price? Fellas, we're talking about literally billions of dollars worth of money in the line. These calls are in the money, which means that imagine if everyone holding any call from $10 to $55 decides to get filled and exercised on their strike price. That would create such an immense buy pressure that it would catapult GameStop into Moonistan, Adromedastan and into the long realms of space known as Far-fucking-stan. There are, as of 4 hours ago, roughly 270,000 calls sitting in the money up to $40 for GameStop. That means that if everyone with calls decides to get filled, you have to multiply 270,000 times 100 because each contract is worth 100 shares. That means that the option writers, which are market makers, hedge funds, banks, brokers and many other firms, would be forced into getting filled and covering for a total amount of 27 million shares. Keep in mind that is only accounting for option calls reaching $40 strikes, it doesn't account for strikes higher than that. This is the moment when you guys are about to go crazy, so please strap yourselves to your chairs before I say the following. I'll wait. As of right now, last I checked, and do note my numbers might not have been updated, there are about 52 million calls currently sitting in the money for GameStop up to the expiration of January 16, year 2026. If all got filled, it would be game over. Guys, take a moment to process that and then answer me this question. Do you really think this play is done? Do you really think GameStop is done and over, pumped and dumped like all my exes? Guys, today was not the end of GameStop, it was merely the beginning of a long battle that will take place throughout the next couple of months. Dragging the price down is the hedge fund's imperative, and ours is to keep it as high as possible. Can they short it down? Absolutely. They can do that, and it doesn't matter because, as we have witnessed, it's only a matter of time until someone screws up, and the next time it happens we will be even more volatile and even quicker with the run-up. If they can't short it down within specific time frames, the pressure is on them to get filled, which means buy pressure increases, sending the stock up. This is why this play is so precarious, because the screw-up of something remotely small on their end could mean the price erupting like a volcano into the hundreds overnight. This is why I don't care about holding and waiting. The game is on our side, they cheat and lose and we buy and laugh. Anything can happen in the next couple of weeks and months, anything. Don't let some clown YouTuber, some overpaid analyst persuade you, some manipulated news anchor insult you into believing this play is over, that it was a one and done just because the roaring kitty came back. The truth is, it hasn't stopped since January 20, 21, and though they won the battle that ensued back then for months, nobody knows what will happen in the squeeze battle in 2024. This is why I won't sell, this is why I will hold and take my shares to glory or my grave. Today was just the first round in a match that will take months to settle. Guys, drop a like on this video, make a comment, or make a second comment if you already made one earlier. Help me boost the video. If you made it to the end, let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know if you watched it fully so I can rest assured at least one of you watched the entire thing. If you haven't already, join my Discord and stop playing around. We have the best GameStop and AMC members there, with the best day traders, the best content and day trading alerts along with the best free educational material other people charge you for, all available to you with the simple click of a button. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Thank you all so much for today, and to all of those that dropped by my stream earlier, words are not enough to thank you. 7,000 people tuned in my live stream, that's more than the 200 average I used to get prior to this week, so big shout out to all of you. I am glad my content is helping so many of you. Now come say hi in my Discord and let's chat about GameStop. Send me a DM if you want. I'll continue to monitor the situation and keep you guys updated if anything interesting comes up. I will see you on the next one, and to the moon.